The mission of how I started podcasting and started Special Chronicles is giving respect and voice to those of us with special needs. I became an athlete leader of Special Olympics Illinois, and when I recorded the audio of the speeches that I was given and putting those up as podcasts, I soon received messages of encouragement, and I learned that it was a powerful platform and really helping to make a difference in people's lives. 12 years ago, I didn't expect that anybody would want to even listen to me. We have over 42,316 listeners per month. It's a humbling experience. I'm really grateful to make a difference in other people's lives.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Podcasting since 2008. This is a show where we're broadcasting disability stories from an insider's perspective, and we are giving a voice to people with special needs. This is your weekly guide to find and joy, acceptance, and inclusion.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Welcome back to the Special Chronicles show. My name is Daniel, founder of Special Chronicles and Excelon Shriver, International Global Messenger of the Special Olympics. And I should add, ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador. So excited to be back for another week as we continue our ComEd EnergyForce podcast series these 2.5 months. So good to be back behind the microphone. So glad to have all of you listeners. We've got about 5,000 podcast downloads, 24,000 average monthly listeners on this podcast. No matter if you're watching us on the live stream, if you listen to the podcast, but so good to have you all joining our community. Right off the bat, I want to kick it off and just let you know that you can go ahead and make a gift, and so we can continue these podcasts. SpecialChronicles.com/give, SpecialChronicles.com/give, and if you at the $250 gift level to this podcast, you can text give to 50 to 833-953-2598. That's text give to 50 to 833-953-2598. Or simply you can donate online at SpecialChronicles.com/give. That's SpecialChronicles.com/give. Once again, make the $250. Donate $250, make the $250 gift, and you will receive a free autographed copy of the new book, The Call to Unite, Voices of Hope and Awakening by Tim Shriver. Once again, if you want to receive that, make a $250 gift to this podcast. And if we have any live stream viewers, we'll let you know later on in the program about a giveaway that is only available to our live stream viewers. But please put your virtual hands together as we welcome Cristian Salazer from Valor to the Special Chronicles show. Welcome, Cristian.
Thank you for having me.
And I forgot when we first met. I think it was at one of the ComEd trainings and a few of the ComEd events back when we could do it in person.
Yeah, I remember.
And yeah, so excited to have you on the Special Chronicles show this week. This episode 425, and as we do have one live stream viewer, we'll let you know that if you make this giveaway is only open to our live stream viewers. All you have to do in the comments, it's under hashtag ComEd. That's hashtag COMED in the comments, hashtag ComEd in the comments, and you will be entered to win a giveaway that we will try to do at the end of the episode. And Cristian, you can remind me at the end of the episode to do that giveaway. If we have any of you live stream viewers watching, you can enter to win a ComEd merch swag bag, a bunch of different ComEd stuff that we give away, thanks to our partner ComEd And we'll put links in the show notes on specialchronicles.com/podcast425 to how you can find out more information about our incredible, awesome partner, ComEd EnergyForce. But with that, that's always enough of an introduction and getting those plugs out of the way. But why don't you, Cristian, introduce yourself to our listeners, tell us about the disability you were diagnosed with, your connection to our disability community, and your role at the ComEd EnergyForce program.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cristian Salazer, and I'm from Valor. I was one of the first ambassadors that joined the program, and I actually love it. It's a good experience to be in.
Awesome. So you said that. So you, I think, they said it's you're one of the legacy ambassadors. Like you were involved since when the program started 10 years ago.
Yes, I was one of the first ambassadors you could call legacy.
Awesome. I probably could have done a little bit more research before going on. I'm glad. See, that's what's awesome about this podcast is we kind of get to know each other as ambassadors through the trainings, and now through the every 3 months, every quarter they're having those meetups on Microsoft Teams. But through this podcast, we get to not only do our global audience of podcast listeners get to meet you and at least 9 out of the however many ComEd EnergyForce ambassadors at the wall, but get to really through a conversation get to kind of meet each other and yeah, it's pretty awesome. And let's go on and a little bit more about your backstory as a ComEd ambassador, and tell us about a little bit about your backstory and your early years growing up with disability, and tell us about what disability you were diagnosed with, and a little bit about your early years growing up.
I was diagnosed with learning disability and also motor disorder.
Awesome. Yeah, me too. I also was diagnosed with learning disabilities too, and the severe language disorder. So
yeah,
can you go maybe go a little bit more in depth a little bit about your early years and what were some of the challenges and joys and accomplishments? I mean, it's like a little bit more about your early years growing up.
Okay. First, it was really hard for me. It was hard for me to learn. Well, it took me a little more time than others to learn it, but I will learn it eventually.
Awesome. Well, in about a minute, we're going to go ahead and take our full sponsor break. Okay. Just to let our listeners know, because if it wasn't for our support, we wouldn't be able to be behind the microphone. I mean, if it wasn't for our supporters and getting the funding and support, we wouldn't be able to be behind the microphone and be talking to all of you today. But when we come back from the break, we'll get into a little bit more about your backstory, Cristian, and your involvement with the Valor organization, and about, of course, your involvement with the ComEd EnergyForce program. Our guest this week on the Special Chronicles show is Cristian Salazer, ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador from Valor. Don't hit pause. We'll be back after a short break right here on the Special Chronicles show on SpecialChronicles.com. We'll be right back. Support for Special Chronicles comes from listeners like you. As an independent public media podcast, Special Chronicles will always be there for you. Now we're asking you to be there for us. As a nonprofit independent media organization, we can only make programs like Special Chronicles with listener support. Our programs provide weekly candid, honest, and inspiring conversations about the people with disabilities community that creates awareness, support, and advocacy within each week's episode. Listeners tell us our shows are an enjoyable and necessary podcast for the intellectual and developmental disability community and everyone else who is able to listen to stories about life from a different angle. Please, if you and your family love our weekly podcast, make a one-time, monthly, or annual gift of thanks today. Support this podcast at SpecialChronicles.com/give. That's SpecialChronicles.com/give. Our guest on the Special Chronicles show is Cristian Salazer, fellow ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador from Valor. And Cristian, I know it's Spanish is not my native language, so
Okay.
but and I probably could use Google Translate, or my mom actually used to teach Spanish and a few other languages in school. Not anymore, but
Oh, okay.
really back when she used to teach. Anyways, let's now get into a little bit more about your involvement with your organization, because as our listeners know, if they listen back to the first part of this ComEd EnergyForce Series this year, 2021, back in April 2021, when we had Paula Conrad, one of the co-founders of the program, on, and he said that each of us ambassadors are with an organization. You're with El Fellow, which if you're watching the video, I'll try to put a link in the show notes as well to the website, but it's elvalor.org.
Yes. Right.
I'm with Special Chronicles. That's obvious. That I actually founded. But for your organization, tell us a little bit about how and when you got involved in El Bello and how you first got involved with that organization, as well as partnering 10 years ago with the ComEd EnergyForce program.
Okay. Well, after I graduated high school, I went to train. I was training for janitorial. After that was done, I wanted to do something new, so I decided just to go to Valor.
Awesome. And can you tell us a little bit for I first heard about your organization when I think we met about 4 years ago, because this is my fourth year with the program, with partnering with ComEd. But tell us, for any, I'm sure some of our listeners who are either in the Chicago area, or maybe they might be across the country or across the globe that might not have heard of El Fellow. Can you tell us a little bit about what the organization that you are with does for our community and for those of us with disabilities?
Okay. It's an organization that helps people with disabilities. It's basically like just having classes, but with people with disabilities, kind of.
So kind of like life skill classes and job training classes, and
yeah, basically like that.
So not really like independent living. Like, I know there are some organizations that might have residence homes or independent living, or like Misericordia, I think, has that, and the Helping Hand Center has that, and a few other ones. But we
also have that too.
Oh, you also have that too. Awesome.
Yeah, we always have that too. We have like maybe 3, 4, I think. I'm honestly not sure.
Yeah. So can you tell us about some of the classes or different programs in El Fellow that you participate in?
Okay. First, I do job readiness. The last one, and I also did cooking before. It was a challenging, but it was kind of fun at the same time. And also, I also do sign language. I lead a class in sign language also.
You
Sometimes.
lead a class. Awesome.
Yeah. And I also color and draw sometimes too.
Color and draw as a class.
Yeah, as a
Awesome.
class, and
Awesome.
we also do art and craft sometimes.
Awesome crafts. Awesome. Quick few comments I have on that. One of the about the cooking class you said.
Yeah.
My girlfriend Georgia, which if people go on to specialchronicles.com/shows, that's specialchronicles.com/SHOWS, or just click on podcasts on specialchronicles.com. One of the other shows I produce on Tuesday nights is the Georgia and Daniel show, and my girlfriend Georgia actually graduated with a cooking and pastry certificate from Troy.
That's cool.
So yeah, so she's big into cooking.
I bet that you'd be eating good.
yeah. She does. Yeah. So I don't. I mean, like when she moved in. I mean, just this weekend, she made me lunch. And so yeah. She does cook.
Lucky you.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a good cook, but I'm glad I found somebody that is. The job readiness class has that, and it's a good. Well, with the sign language, for my younger years, I also know some sign language, not that much, but yeah. So that's pretty awesome that you teach that. So not only do you participate, but you also teach some of the classes as well.
Yeah. Like I said, I teach sign language a little bit. I also do a little bit of math.
Awesome.
Yeah. Like for an example, I could spell my name in sign language.
You can spell now again for our podcast listeners, they can only hear us, but for the people that are watching us live right now on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter at Special Chronicles, they can see us right now. Do you want to maybe for the podcast listeners maybe speak it, but for the people watching us right now live on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter right now, do you want to maybe sign your name?
Sure. CRISTIAN.
Awesome. So if people want to learn more, they can go check out your organization. That's ELVALOR.org, and that's ELVALOR.org, and look for that class that you teach. In about a couple minutes, we're going to take a second break, but first, a good transition. You said about the job readiness class and that you take part of at Fellow, and I think it's maybe a good transition to in talking about your partnership with the ComEd EnergyForce Program, and how that job readiness class that you have taken, how that has prepared you for not only your role as a ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador, but any other jobs that you, because I'm sure like the rest of us, we have other jobs in addition to our role at the ComEd EnergyForce Program. But after this second break, I want you to maybe touch on that. So we'll tease our listeners right there, but kind of how the job readiness class, how that has prepared you for your role at the ComEd EnergyForce Program. We'll get into a little bit more about that and a little bit more about some favorite memories and from all the different ComEd EnergyForce events that you and that we both have participated in. Oh, that's coming up. Augustus Cristian Salazer from ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador from Valor is our guest on this program. We'll be back. Don't hit pause. We'll be back right here on SpecialChronicles.com. Support for Special Chronicles comes from ComEd. Special Chronicles is proud to partner with the ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador Program. The EnergyForce is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is powering lives, and really is powering us here at Special Chronicles to keep the lights on and our technology is powered on. As ComEd powers the lives of us, they're literally giving a voice to people with special needs. We thank ComEd for the generous support of our mission at Special Chronicles. Learn more at SpecialChronicles.com/ComEd. That's SpecialChronicles.com/ComEd. Our guest is Cristian Salazer from ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador from Hello. Once again, for more information about his organization, you can go to elvalor.org. That's elvalor.org. Links we'll try to remember to put in the show notes on specialchronicles.com/podcast425. I think that's the right number. I think I have. Just look down below in the description of this podcast or live stream show, and you should find a link to find the show notes for this episode. But when you talked about the job readiness class that you participate in Valor, I thought that was a good podcast transition in talking about your involvement with the ComEd. So how has that job readiness class prepared you for your role at other jobs you've had, but more particularly the ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador job?
Okay. It helped me be public. It helped me to learn how to public speaking, people skills, and also be responsible.
Awesome. And you, as we said at the top of the program, you're part of one of the legacy ComEd EnergyForce ambassadors, which means you've been involved for the past 10 years. And tell us a little bit more about what you enjoy about both you, but you yourself as a person, as an ambassador, but also your organization, our fellow. What does that mean for both you and your organization, our fellow, to partner with the ComEd EnergyForce program, which, as we know, is the nation's first energy efficiency program taught by those of us with disabilities. So, what does it mean for both you personally and your organization, our fellow?
The reason why I like going to Valor or coming or whatever is because I feel like I feel at home. People are warm homing. They'll go out in the way for you to make things happen.
Awesome. And what does it mean for your what does it mean for you to be involved with the ComEd EnergyForce program? You mentioned about your what does it mean for you to be involved with Valor, but what does it mean also for you to be involved with?
The main reason is because it makes me go around Chicago mostly, and honestly, the best thing I like is going to Navy Pier, especially, and doing the around the world one.
Yeah,
I'm to culture that one.
Yeah, those cultural. I forgot what it's called, but those cultural events, which I think usually happen in the beginning of January / February 20. Well, in January, February time frame beginning.
Yeah, around there.
I know this year we haven't been able to. We won't able to do those. That
sucks. I know.
Because of the global pandemic, but yeah. So what? Maybe let's talk a little bit about now about what you enjoy about partnership with the ComEd EnergyForce program. Can you share us a little bit about what you enjoy about being part of the ComEd EnergyForce program? In
Honestly, I just
addition to the Navy PO cultural events, but what else do you enjoy about this partnership with Fellow and ComEd EnergyForce program?
that helps me be responsible, and it helps me be on time. It helps me become a better public speaker than others. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, those are awesome skills about being responsible and being on time and helping with public speaking skills. That I think those are some big skills that we may learn from job skills classes or different other types of programs or other jobs, but it's neat that through this EnergyForce Ambassador Program, they're able to not only are we able to educate the public about energy efficiency tips, but we're able to ComEd has given us a real life experience of being responsible to be at these events or these engagement. So being on time to whether we'll be on time to these events or whether we have to be on time to get this virtual engagement. So like, for example, we're doing a virtual engagement right now, this podcast. We both had to be on time to go live for this live stream show to go live on this podcast at 6 p.m. Central. So we had to both be early and be on time and it's because of the ComEd EnergyForce program that we're able to do that. Awesome. And is there a favorite memory that you have from an event or an online digital engagement being part of the ComEd EnergyForce program that you want to talk about? Is there a favorite memory that you want to briefly talk about?
I got to meet new people during ComEd, and also helping people in my community and help them learn how to save energy and how can I help them by saving them.
Awesome. I was, just for the sake of time, we don't have time to get to a favorite energy efficiency tip, but in the next sponsor break that we're about to take in just 2 minutes from now, our listeners and viewers will get to hear about a whole bunch of energy efficiency tips. You know, my mom and I will just listen to one of the ComEd episodes, and it's amazing that through this 2-minute video that people are about to hear in this next sponsor break. A lot of times when you listen to podcasts, you hear sponsors that try to sell you something, but this particular sponsor break, we actually get to hear some energy efficiency tips of how we can not only save money, but with our energy bills, but also save energy. So, like for example, right now in this studio, I actually don't have any lights on. When I do, it's the LED lights. Of course. But right now I have natural lighting. But yeah, it's and then the same thing like with the power outlets that are plugging in this microphone and this mixer and this computer and iPad. It's all energy efficient. And so when we come back from the break, we'll get into talking about some final thoughts with talking about inclusion and plugs. All that is coming up after the break. And our guest is Cristian Salazer, ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador from Fellow, is our guest on the Special Chronicles show right now. Don't hit pause. We'll be back with some final thoughts, talking about inclusion and final plugs right here on the Special Chronicles show on SpecialChronicles.com. We'll be back after a final break right here on SpecialChronicles.com.
Hi, my name is Lisa Noble, and I'm a ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador and an athlete with Special Olympics Illinois.
Hi, my name is Daniel Spakowski, and I also am a ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador and founder of a company called Special Chronicles.
The ComEd EnergyForce Program is a program that hires people with disabilities to teach the public how to save energy and money.
It's the country's first energy efficiency program of its kind.
Saving energy is especially important while everyone is at home due to COVID-19. We're using more electricity than ever before. Just think about how many more times you are opening the refrigerator door these days.
And while the economy is stressed, it's more critical than ever to save money where we can. Following these tips can save energy and money in this time of COVID-19.
Wash your clothes in cold water and use the dryer sparingly.
Your dryer can take up to 7 times more energy than the washer.
Turn off and unplug any electrical devices or power strips you are not using.
Electrical devices can continue to zap power even when turned off if they're still plugged in. We call them vampire devices.
Use LED bulbs.
They use 25% less energy than incandescent bulbs and last up to 25 times longer, saving you lots of money over time.
Keep your refrigerator between 35 and 38 degrees.
And be sure to use Energy Star appliances.
And last but not least, check out ComEd.com/home savings for more tips and rebates.
Lisa and I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to us today.
Remember, we are all in this together.
Stay healthy.
And stay safe.
Bye. Our guest on the Special Chronicles show is Cristian Salazer, ComEd EnergyForce Ambassador from Valor. Welcome back, Cristian.
Thank you.
And as we get to some final thoughts here on the program today, one of the ever since being as a Southern Shriver International Global Messenger with Special Olympics, being at the World Games in Abu Dhabi 2 years ago, I co-hosted it was called the Abu Dhabi Daily Show, and it was a video podcast series on SpecialOlympics.org. And one of the final questions that ever since that series, I always ask my guests about what does inclusion mean to you, because as you know, in our disability community, inclusion and us being included and unified and included is really important to us. So I'm going to ask you as well, what does inclusion mean to you?
Okay. Well, inclusion means to me that it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. People want to be loved and have somewhere to belong.
Awesome. Perfect answer. And now, is there anything that I mentioned? I mean, is there anything that I forgot to mention that you want to talk about before we get to some plugs and final thoughts? But is there anything that I forgot to mention that you wanted to talk about with all of our 24,000 average monthly listeners that you want to talk about and share with our audience?
I just want to thank ComEd for everything that they've done for us. I appreciate them, and I'm happy to be an ambassador for ComEd.
Awesome. So with that, let's get to some plugs on some social media and website plugs for you and your organization and ComEd. I'll try to put some banners up on the screen, but I think one plug that we have is for your organization. You want to show how people can connect and find out more information about LO?
Sure. You could just go to elvalor.org. If you have any information, any concerns, or anything like that, you could just contact elvalor.org. Sorry about that.
So that once again for all our listeners, that's ELVALOR.org. I'll try to remember to put a link in the show notes now that I know the website. So you can find out more about that. And if you want to find out more about the ComEd EnergyForce program, I know I usually say it on this series, on this ComEd EnergyForce podcast series. But Cristian, do you want to tell our listeners if they want to meet both of us and all the other ComEd EnergyForce ambassadors, as well as learn more about the program and there's plenty of links to energy efficiency tips as well? Do you want to share with our listeners how they can find out more about the ComEd EnergyForce program?
Yeah. You could go to their website called .com/home savings, I believe.
Yeah.
They have any contacts or any information if they need anything from there.
Yeah, and I think in that last sponsor break, that website that we mentioned was ComEd.com/home savings. But if our listeners want to know particularly about the ComEd EnergyForce program, we're both displaying the ComEd EnergyForce. Cristian has a newer shirt. I've got a little bit of an older shirt on. I feel like because you've been, I feel like as you were a legacy ambassador, you probably could have had the older one on, and I could have had the newer one on.
It would be funny.
So we're all part of the team, the ComEd EnergyForce team. But to learn more about the program, ComEd.com/EnergyForce is where you can learn more about the program, and you can find ComEd on social media as well. All the links will be in the show notes on SpecialChronicles.com and SpecialChronicles.com /EnergyForce. SpecialChronicles.com/EnergyForce is where you can find the links to find the show notes for this episode 425, as well as find out more links about the ComEd EnergyForce program. And before we get into some final plugs and how you can connect with Special Chronicles and, well, if you want to connect with me, Podman Dan, what I'm doing when I'm not behind the microphone, at Podman Dan, PODMANDAAN, at Podman Dan on Instagram and Facebook, Twitter, all the different social media, LinkedIn. And but before we get into some final plugs, as we wrap up this episode 425, it's been a joy having you on, Cristian. And hopefully we can do another one of these podcasts anytime. If there's anything that you want to plug or talk about, you're more than welcome to come back on the show. But any final thoughts on your overall time here today on the Special Chronicles show that you want to share with our listeners?
Yes, I just want to thank everybody, and especially for you for having me. It was a good experience for me. I enjoyed it. Thank you for having me. Yeah,
it's been a lot of fun, and a joy to have you on. Want to we remind our listeners, trying to find the links here, SpecialChronicles.com. So you can go to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and to subscribe to our newsletter and podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Please remember to also share our podcast. Share this episode right now with Cristian, as well as any of our other episodes. Please share these podcasts with your friends and family to help us grow our audience, reaching 5,000 downloads of our audio podcasts and 24,000 average listeners monthly. Please share this. Remember to write a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. And SpecialChronicles.com/ComEd, SpecialChronicles.com/ComEd, to learn more about our partner ComEd EnergyForce program, including video resources and original podcast series like what you hear right now, and external links for more information about energy efficiency tips. And finally, if you want to make a gift, SpecialChronicles.com/give to join our community of supporters. And please make a gift to help us fund our weekly podcasts, live stream shows, and further our mission and vision of giving respect and voice to those of us, people with special needs. It really goes a long way. Once again, SpecialChronicles.com/give. And please, if you can, please make a $250 gift, and you can receive a free autographed copy of the book, The Call to Unite, Voices of Hope and Awakening, that Tim Shriver will send you at that $250 gift level. Please, if you can, help us to continue broadcasting and then podcasting on SpecialChronicles.com. Please, if you can, make a $250 gift, or any gift at SpecialChronicles.com/give. All the links to donate will be in the show notes. Thank you again, Cristian, for coming on the show, and looking forward to talking to you again, hopefully at a ComEd event.
Thank you for having me.
And podcast listener friends, stay tuned next week. All the way through the end of June, we have weekly episodes all related, where you get to meet some more of our ComEd and EnergyForce Ambassador friends. Will be joining us every week until the end of June, but it doesn't stop there, because we have more podcasts that we are planning. And I even have episodes planned for the end of the year going into 2022, all related to Special Olympics USA and the World Winter Games that are happening in Kazan, Russia. So we've got some exciting podcast coming. So remember to stay subscribed to this podcast and our newsletter. SpecialChronicles.com is where you can go, and remember to please donate to SpecialChronicles.com/give. So until then, we'll see you next week right here on the Special Chronicles show on SpecialChronicles.com. See you next week. Bye.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.